What's up, my buddies? My God, it has been a long time. I don't even know when the last time I filmed a YouTube video was. Who knows? Where have I been? Well, honestly, I've just been insanely burned out, or I was insanely burned out. I now feel better, but I don't know. It's kind of a long story. I had a crazy, 2022 was crazy for me. I'm 33 years old, which some people refer to as your Jesus year, which is like a year of crazy changes and you just go through all this stuff and change up your whole life and you go through like a rebirth. And that was definitely the case for me. Someone who was close to me passed away unexpectedly in December 2021. So I feel like the first half of this year, maybe the first quarter of this year was just hardcore grief. And then I went into a 6-month period where I was insane and just was really overachieving and overscheduling in an attempt to not deal with my feelings and going really hard on my 2 businesses I have. So I obviously have the copywriting business and then this business. And my music career, I started releasing music, which I'll link below, by the way, if you want to listen to it. And also I started getting into doing comedy. Oh, and I've been producing music for other people too. So this all culminated with a sketch show in September around Labor Day that just didn't go as planned. And then I cried a lot after that. And then proceeded to buy a car and a puppy. And then I got really sick around that time. I think I talked about being sick in the last video. Never got any kind of diagnosis from a doctor. I honestly think it was just a physical manifestation of being so burned out. I just made myself sick. And then to cap off the year, I got COVID. So, I didn't get that sick, thank God. It did force me to take off time from work and I'm still exhausted, and getting COVID just forced me to lay there. So that's catching up with what's been going on with me and where I've been. So, if you've emailed me, if you have left comments on my social media or on here, or you've DM'd me and I haven't responded, or it took me a month or more to respond, that's why I apologize. But a baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. I'm going to do a couple of videos on goals and goal setting, New Year's resolutions, whatever. I don't want to say I'm really good at goal setting, but I will say that it seems like I have accomplished a lot of my dreams that I've had. And whereas a lot of people are oh, it's always been my dream to do this, and then they never do it. I'm in a post-dream world where I've already done dream A and then had to come up with dream B, dream C. I'm just moving on. I do New Year's resolutions and goal setting every year. Actually, I'm not good at it because I have a feeling we're gonna look at my resolutions from 2022 and laugh. So yeah, that's kind of the purpose of the video today. Is I made these New Year's resolutions, I think in January 2022, or they're goals. They're actually manifestations. That's what they are. This is a manifestation planner. I buy this every year. I fill it out. It's actually kind of stupid. I'll show you the graphics and the questions don't make that much sense in it. But still, I do it. So it's called the Law of Attraction Planner. This is my one for 2022. Like I said, I made this list in December 2021 or January 22, where I was really going through it and I don't know what I wrote in here because I never looked at it again. One of my goals for 2023 is to actually stick with the planner and do the prompts. Side note, it had literally been so long since I made a YouTube video that there was a spider web on my tripod. I hope these aren't embarrassing. What if they are? They probably are, honestly. Wait, I'll show you what this planner is like. And if you get the 2023 one, and I always have this linked in my descriptions because I do think it's a good planner. But I'll show you what the pages look like. Okay, so there's the Law of Attraction roadmap. Is the Law of Attraction stupid? Maybe, but does it work? I think so. Okay, so you start with awareness and self-discovery. These 2 pages. All right, so it gives you I'm trying to think if my therapist recommended this planner to me. I think she did. I think that's where this came from. What would I want to experience in life if time and money were not an issue? I would like to spend my time making art, especially music, traveling, and helping people. I would like to have my own family and take my kids on lots of trips, spend time living abroad, learn more languages, be good at cooking, have a beautiful home with a nice view. Okay. I think maybe we're just zooming out too far with this. I want to talk about like specifically what I was talking about for 2022. But basically it gives you like these prompts and you're supposed to spend no more than 90 seconds on them. So it really wants just like a gut reaction. Goal setting. So this is the next page. And it says, if there was no limit to what you could do /be/buy or become, what would you do in the next 20 to 50 years? If you could not fail, what would you do? Do not try to be realistic and do not set SMART goals. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-based, if you don't know. Instead, set big goals and big visions for your life. List 50 top goals that you want to achieve in all areas of your life. And the areas that they have listed are health, relationships, work and business, fun and recreation, money, personal growth, and spiritual, which is different than how I would define the areas of my life, but that's fine. Okay, so then I wrote all these things, these 50 goals for my life, and then I circled like a top 5 or something. And the top 5 were, wait, is this 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Record an album. That was something I wanted to do in 2022. Like it takes at least a whole year to record an album, especially when you're working by yourself, because it takes me 30 hours to produce a track from start to finish. So if you do an hour a day, that's a month. And that's probably all I can devote to it. And it's still hard to do that, obviously, because I think I have 4 songs released right now. I will say that all the songs for the album are at least demoed, I think, or like written. So this is in progress still. I have reached out to an artist to create like the cover art and like a logo. So this is in progress. Okay, buy a luxury SUV was another goal. Okay, I feel like a lot of these goals are gonna be like things that I thought I should have based on like podcasts or like personal development books or like Instagram or something. It's like things that I was like hearing that I should want and then thinking, oh, well, I should ask for that too. Because I was all gung-ho on getting a BMW at the beginning of the year and I was talking to everybody about it, like everybody that I knew that had a BMW, I was asking them, or like random people on the street that I saw with BMWs, I would go talk to them about it. And based on those conversations, I kind of realized I didn't want one. And that was hard for me to accept for a little bit, that I was like, I don't really want a luxury SUV because like, if you get a luxury SUV, you have to pay for the fancy gas, and like any kind of repairs are just like so expensive, and I just don't want to deal with that. And before, I was driving a 2007 Kia Optima, so I kind of figured if I got something that was just like a 2017 and an SUV with all-wheel drive, I would feel like I had a luxury SUV anyway. So that's what happened. I eventually did buy a 2017 SUV and I love it. And I'm very happy with my purchase. I feel like I'm living in the future, even though the car is 5 years old, because my other car was so old and ugh. Feature on Stereo Gum. So Stereo Gum is an indie music publication, or it was, I don't even know if it still exists. I don't know why I wrote this. I think I just wanted to like get some kind of like indie press for my music to feel like recognized and validated. See, this is like another thing. It's like, why does that matter? You know, maybe we need to ask ourselves, well, why does this matter? Or is it just for status? Is it like an ego thing? And I think a lot of these are ego things. Okay. Create alcohol-free community. I'm gonna say that I did achieve this goal this year. I made more friends who don't drink alcohol. So now we have hangouts where there's not alcohol. Or maybe like, you know, two friends have a beer and the rest of us don't. So yeah, I feel like I accomplished this. I didn't like make a meetup group or something, which I think is what I had intended when I wrote this. But I did meet other people that don't drink, and also people that I know quit drinking. So I've kind of extended that. And by the way, if you have questions about quitting drinking or being sober, like please DM me on Instagram. I've been talking to like this one woman that I met one time in Lisbon 3 years ago about her sobriety journey, and I'm happy to talk about it. And yeah, if you want to get sober, like I don't do AA, so I just want people to know that there are like other options. You don't have to do AA. Next one, make my house beautiful. You know, I've made progress on this. There's a lot of work to be done in this house, and it's not even like cosmetic things. There are things that are horribly wrong with this house that I want to work on in 2023, like getting the electrical updated to this century standards. But like, you know, I got like a rug in this room, and God, is that all I did? You know what's really made this house beautiful is getting a dog, because now there's love in this home. The next one was have a sexual awakening. Well, I can assure you that did not happen in 2022. Not at all. Not even close. For whatever reason, this has not worked out for me for a long time, and I think that someday it'll all make sense. I mean, I could go on for hours about my bad luck romantically. Like, it's crazy. Get paid to travel. I didn't get paid to travel this year. I did pay for traveling with my business. I did go on a couple business trips. I went to San Diego, LA, and New York. So that was great. It was kind of like I got paid to travel, but I paid myself to travel. Okay, I found the official goals here. So they have you break this down into spiritual, personal development, relationship, career/business, financial, health, and free time and family. And like I said, that's not like how I really like categorize my life. Like I would put spiritual and personal development in the same bucket. Yeah, my goal is to finish an album, and I did do that. I did some stuff. Be my most radiant self. That was another goal. I don't think I was my most radiant self this year. I was pretty sick. But these were some like breaking it down into smaller goals. This is what I said. I wanted to finish the coaching program that I was doing, and I did finish that. I wanted to find/create a like-minded local community, and I feel like I did find that. I got in with the comedy community here in Cleveland and met more people in music community, and now it's like kind of like my goal for that was anytime I went someplace by myself, I wanted to see someone that I knew. And Cleveland is a small enough city that that is possible. So it's kind of like anytime I like go to a concert, like I go to shows by myself, or like just, I don't know, go out and do something, and I like will run into people I know. So that is nice. I wanted to attend a retreat or a workshop. I did do that. I went to a songwriting retreat in July, which was awesome. Practice yoga daily. I stopped doing yoga because I don't like it. So I did like it, and then I just didn't want to do it anymore. And work on my house, and I did work on my house a little bit. I want to work on my house more in 2023. Be closer to my family. Okay, so because someone in my family passed away, I kind of was like freaking out about that. Like, oh my God, anyone could die at any moment. I regretted the way that I kind of grew apart from the person who passed away, so I was kind of like aggressively trying to be closer to my family. I did like spend more time with them, so I feel like I achieved that goal. Okay, here's where we start going off the rails here. Business makes 300K in the year. It did not. I think though, probably we got pretty close to 200K. But with, you know, it's not like I keep that. You know, it's like with all the contractors and other expenses, I didn't personally make any more money in 2022 than I made in 2021. But I think the issue here is like, why? Why did I want to make 300K in a year? And that's because I made 150K the year before. So I think I just wanted to double it. But why? Like, just to say that I could? This is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes these goals are ego driven and don't actually make sense. And it's not actually something that you want or need in your life. And that is one thing that I didn't actually want or need in my life. I was not willing to do what it took to get to 300K. I wasn't. And I didn't actually want it. So I just wrote this from ego. There wasn't anything exciting and emotional to back it up. And if you know anything about manifestation, there has to be emotion involved. So I just like wasn't excited about it. Now, if I had written, this is what I'm going to do this year, is like write out a list of specific things I'm going to buy with extra money that I make beyond like what I need to pay my bills and have my regular expenses. So that way I can be excited about that specific list, and I believe that that will help me to manifest more money in 2023. So that is my tip to you. Don't say I want to make 300,000K and then just not have a reason for it at all. Just be like, well, because it's twice as much and I need that kind of ego validation to feel good about myself. Yeah, and I did none of these things that were on this list except for hire a VA, which it didn't end up working out with him anyways. Buy an SUV. I did that. I bought an SUV. I didn't do it the way that I described in here. You know what? Wait, I did do it like this. I made a budget. I didn't save 5K. I think I saved more than that. I think I ended up giving them 8K as a down payment. I cleaned out my Kia and I chose a car online and I made an appointment and I called my dad and my dad came with me. So yeah, I did all the things on that list. Yay! Improve my cycle/fertility. So I wrote down all these steps that I was gonna do, like go to a GI specialist and visit a holistic health practitioner, do yoga every day. I didn't do any of these things, but I did stop for a little bit at the end of 2022 before I got sick. I like switched to eating like a low carb, high fat diet. I basically like cut a lot of sugar out of my diet and that really helped with my cramps. So I think I'm gonna keep doing that in 2023, but like not as strict, like not use an app. Eat vegetables and try not to eat 30 cookies in one day like I did on Christmas, but except you can do that on Christmas. Usually there's not 30 cookies around me, so it's not a problem. Take 6 vacations. So I did block out vacation time, but I didn't end up using it the way I thought I would. And I think where did I go? I think I did take, how many trips did I take? I went to California 3 times. I went to Florida twice, and I went to New York. And I went to Indianapolis. Now these weren't, I think when I wrote this, I meant like week-long vacations where I didn't do anything. And some of these were just like long weekends. The third time I went to California and then New York. One of the times I went to Florida was just a couple days. And Indianapolis was just like a long weekend. But I did go places. So that was great because I didn't go that many places in 2020 or 2021, obviously. This year, I want to like do a big international trip. I think that me and some of my friends are gonna go to Japan, I'm hoping. I haven't done my goals for 2023 yet. So some other like skills I wanted to master were meditation and yoga. Okay, see that's like a thing that I just saw on the internet and I was like, oh, I should be good at that too. Like I'll be so zen, I'll be like yoga with Adrienne. And you know what? That's not me. Like that's not gonna happen and I don't want it to happen. I don't want that. When I exercise, I like to be like aggressive and like listen to punk and lift weights and get all sweaty. Like that's how I like to exercise. Or I like to wander around my neighborhood with my dog. Speaking of my dog, It's getting dark. I should probably wrap up this rant. I said that I wanted to master music production. Well, I don't think you can ever master that, but I did get a lot better at music production this year. And filming YouTube videos, well, I have a long way to go with that. Old habits I wanted to unlearn, eating my feelings. I would say that it's like, I don't do this as much as I used to, for sure. I definitely don't binge eat as much, but I've also come to like a level of acceptance where I'm like, well, I'm doing my best. Like if this is how I cope with stuff, oh well. But I don't do it as much anymore also. Listening to the voice of self-doubt, which, or the voice of knowledge. There's a great book about it. I'll link it below, called The Book of Knowledge, and I read that at maybe December 2021, and it really made me like realize like I have like this inner self narrative that's like very like critical and mean, and everybody does, and it's like the voice of your ego. So yeah, I've been better at like hearing what that is saying and being like, shut up. And sometimes I still get like on these rants in my head, like I call them like my tapes, and they just like loop, and it's like the same thoughts over and over again. But it's like honestly been a lot better. I made a list of people I did not want to talk to anymore, and people that I did want to talk to, and I can confidently say that I did that, and I moved forward with that. Oh, and then I also said that I wanted to start having a house cleaner, and I did do that, which is a big expense for me, but I feel like it's worth it. I really like my house cleaner. She's so cool. She's just like such a nice person. God, I sound like such a snob. My house cleaner, whatever. It's like the one fancy thing about me. Other than that, I am not fancy. Okay, I do like just want to show some more pages in this real quick before I sign off. So I don't know so much about like making like year resolutions, but I do think that breaking the year down into quarters or 90 days is helpful. And this like literally says this, like you have like your 90-day plans, and you have like, it breaks it down into 3 goals. You're gonna like reward yourself when you get the goal, which I think is very helpful. And then like action steps that you're gonna do. So any goal that you have, you need to like, you have like a big lofty goal. Like I need to do this, but it needs to get broken down into smaller and smaller pieces so that it can actually be integrated into your life. For example, when I said that I wanted to buy an SUV and I figured that I needed a $5,000 down payment, what you have to do then is figure out like how long do I have to save that money, and then how much extra do I have to make per month or per week or whatever in order to save $5,000, and then what am I gonna do to make the extra $5,000, and then like how does that translate into something I'm going to do every day or every week. As a freelancer, for me, that would look like I'm going to have my assistant look for jobs in Upwork for me that I can apply to. I'm going to have her find businesses that I can cold pitch to, and I'm going to update my social media once a week or something. So it's like a specific thing that you're going to do that is eventually going to get you the goal. So you need to like break it down like that. Another example would be recording this album. So I already told you that it takes me 30 hours to produce a track. So if I wanted to do it in 1 year, then what I would have to do is work 1 hour every day on my music, or 7 hours per week, however I want to break that up. There's also a monthly view with your tasks and intentions. So this could be weekly or daily, and your goals for the month, and just all this other crap. And then I like how it's broken down for the week. So up here we have, what will I do to feel good? Like what are your like rewards gonna be for yourself, and your top priorities, like what definitely needs to get done. And then every day only has 7 lines on it. So this is the craziest thing for me. I'm a person who will just live off of endless to-do lists and feel like I'm never making any difference. So just picking the 7 most important things to do that I have to do in a day and putting them on here allows me to feel like I'm getting stuff done and that there is an endpoint to the day. And I don't put everything on here. Like I don't put like do the dishes on here unless like my kitchen is trashed, which happens from pretty often, but and it becomes like a thing I have to do. But so I don't usually put like routine things on here. Like I make like a morning routine and an evening routine, but like special things I have to do, like I have to write a blog post for a client or email this person or go to dinner with these people, those will all be included. And then at the end there is keeping track of your progress, and this is, I really like this. This is my favorite part actually, which I only did it like 3 times this year. But you celebrate your top 5 achievements. You can like, if you want to like bring in some new habits or like eliminate bad habits, you can put them here and then check them off. And once again, I like it because there's only 4 slots in there. So, and one of them is gratitude. It has to be gratitude. They just put it in there for you. I like that it really like forces you to, instead of like, I'm gonna achieve everything, you're like, I'm gonna achieve just as much. And that's good enough. That's better than nothing, because if you try to achieve everything at once, you'll get overwhelmed and, you know, have a mental breakdown like I did. And then there's also a quarterly reflection that's a bit longer, where you reflect on the last 90 days and then plan out the next 90 days. And then in the back is just like room for notes, and I just always like keep this next to me. And then randomly, a world map, in case you're like, oh, I don't know where to plan my trip. Ta-da! Okay, so yeah, that was my 2022 wrap up. Cool. Yeah, I guess it was good. This was a year of important change for me, and I needed to go through it. And even though it wasn't always pretty and it was often very painful, it was good. So I'm gonna come back next week and talk about my goals for 2023. Maybe, if I feel like sharing them. I might write them out and then not feel like doing that anymore. So we'll see. Yeah, I encourage you to do some journaling and reflect on this past year and where you want to go in the next year. I've been doing that all December, honestly. Happy New Year, buddy, and cheers to 2023. Okay, bye.